I'm going to go off script a little bit. I'm actually going by a script for this presentation. I wrote a script. I'm actually trying to read it as I go, but teleprompter. But I'm going to go off script a little bit because I just want to re-emphasize. I want to just emphasize the point that I want to make here. If these are actual gurus, if the ISKCON gurus are actual true gurus, and we take the functions that were prescribed by Srila Prabhupada for the GBC to perform, and we take them away from the actual gurus, and we give them back to the GBC, because those functions do not define what a guru is, they don't make one a guru, then they would remain actual gurus. There would be no problem. But what it would do, and that's if the GBC are convinced that they're actual real gurus, taking these functions away would not reduce them from being an actual guru, but it would restore the GBC to their proper position. Right now, they're in a weakened and compromised position. They are no longer performing the functions and the duties that Srila Prabhupada had prescribed them to perform. And because of that, they are weakened spiritually, and they are not in compliance with Srila Prabhupada's orders. But if we did this, and these are actual gurus, it won't affect them. If the GBC are right, and they're actual, real, true gurus, taking these functions away from them will not reduce them to not being a guru, because those duties don't define you as a guru. But it would restore the GBC. It would then be compliant, and we could restore the system back to what it was when Srila Prabhupada ordered not to change it. So please, if the members of the GBC are watching, and I'm going to be sending this to all of you, I hope you are, I hope you will watch this much of it, please try to understand that. That was my original. This is how I got started in this whole topic to begin with, was this argument. Restore the GBC's functions and duties. Do it. Just do it. And if these are actual gurus, it won't hurt them. It won't disturb them. It won't make them not gurus. And if they aren't actual gurus, then you're on the wrong path. Then the whole thing is wrong anyway. Then you're propping people up as calling them gurus who are not really gurus. So one way or the other, you correct it. Correct it. You know, what it really comes down to, and this is a point that I actually a realization that I had in 1997 as I was doing this research and writing these papers, is that what it really comes down to is the gurus seem to, at that time anyway, and most likely still is, they just wanted to retain these functions and duties because it gave them the air of being a real guru. It was only hot air, but it was giving them the air of being a guru. In other words, it was giving them the outwardly appearance. They had, by performing these functions and duties for their disciples, it made them feel like a real guru. And it gave the outwardly appearance that they're a real guru. But it's superficial and it's artificial, because those functions don't make them a real guru. And it's by following the current GB system, it creates chaos. It's just, maybe not so much in the chaos, but it's just not compatible to manage a organization that Srila Prabhupada had set up. I am a guru, and I'm a guru in Florida, where I live. Then I have a disciple in California. And that disciple in California, I'm trying to give him spiritual guidance. I'm trying to give him, because that's what a guru, and these are the functions that the GBC are saying that a guru has to do. So I'm trying to give him spiritual guidance. I'm trying to make sure that he's engaged nicely in his service. I'm trying to, if he has some personal issues, I try to help him with that. He has some personal issues with his family, with his wife or husband, or, I try to help them with that. But if there's personal issues because of the other devotees in the community, And with the temple, well, I'm not there. So I am not able to help that devotee in that way. But the system that Srila Prabhupada had set up is those are the duties of the local GBC men, sannyasis, senior devotees. But let's especially stick right now with the GBC. That was a duty of the GBC. These are the functions and prescribed duties that Srila Prabhupada gave to the GBC. So if, as a GBC, the local GBC man, he can give the spiritual guidance. He can give the, help him in the engagements, keep him nicely engaged, look out for his spiritual being, his spiritual welfare. These are the duties Prabhupada gave the GBC to do. And when there's an issue, he's there, he knows the community, he knows or at least he might not know every single member, but he may know the devotee's family, the situation they're in, because he's the local GBC, and he has a working relationship with the local temple presidents on a regular basis. So if he doesn't know exactly, he asks the temple president, he gets involved, he can give that guidance much more than a guru who's on the other side of a country or the other side of the world. Today in ISKCON, many of the disciples don't live in the same area where their gurus are, but they're not taking any guidance from the GBC, and the local GBCs aren't giving that guidance. The system has become broken, totally broken, and is not the system that Srila Prabhupada spent 7 years setting up, testing out, and wanted us to maintain and not change it. No need of changing it. These are the duties and the functions that belong to the GBC. This is the system that Srila Prabhupada gave. And if we take those functions and duties away from the gurus, but then they're no longer actual gurus. All they're doing is performing the ceremonial process of the initiation. That's just a ritvik. Well, that's not allowed. Because of that, one point, the GBC were saying, no, we'd rather disobey Srila Prabhupada. We'd rather have the whole system change. We don't care what Srila Prabhupada said. We don't care for his instructions. We don't care that he said not to change this. We are going to change it so that we can still think that we're gurus and our disciples will think we're gurus, because we want to keep these functions that he prescribed to the GBC. We're going to keep performing them. So to hell with Srila Prabhupada, to hell with what he said. I'm sorry, I'm having to make this raw, and I went off script. But that's really how I'm feeling, because it's just to produce the air. It's just to make people think I'm a guru. Really? Really, isn't that what it comes down to? If you take these functions away, they're no longer gurus. Well, then maybe they were no longer a guru, because to begin with, because those functions don't make you a guru. So restore it back to the GBC and restore Srila Prabhupada's system back. And if they're only going to perform, the gurus are now just going to perform the ceremonies of initiation, well, I guess that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted, isn't it? And I'm just going to go back to where I was talking about the GBC and all. So that's why the GBC performs these duties for all of the members in their zone. Whether they perform the initiations, ceremonies for that person, or other persons have performed this, it doesn't matter. Whether they're Prabhupada's disciples or Tamal Krishna's disciples or any other, they will perform these functions and these duties for all the members in their zone. And that is the system Srila Prabhupada set up. That is the system he said not to change, and that will resolve so many problems in ISKCON. I had said that from the very beginning when I started these papers and writing to the GBC. Just do it. And if these are actual real gurus and you take all these functions away from them, these functions don't make them a guru. They don't define a guru. If they're an actual guru, they'll remain an actual guru. But if they don't, then what are you doing? You're propping up artificial, because if you take it away and they're no longer seen and they no longer feel like they're a real guru, then they weren't a real guru to begin with. Do you understand that? If these functions and these duties don't make them a guru, and you take them away from them, oh, but I no longer feel like I'm a guru. And their disciples go, oh, he no longer seems like a guru. Then they weren't a guru. Simple. It's simple. Because those functions don't define a guru. They don't make one a guru. They are just giving a false impression, a false feeling for the person who's acting in that capacity. Now they feel like I'm an actual guru. I'm giving spiritual guidance. I'm helping this devotee, and I'm doing. What they're really doing is they're acting as a GBC at that point, but only for the person they give an initiation to or perform the ceremony for. Because, but it just gives them the error. They just feel like they're a guru by doing that. And on the other hand, the disciples are going, oh yes, my guru has helped me. My guru is giving me this guy. My guru is helping this. I come to him and he helps me this way and that way. But that was the duties of the GBC. And those are not the things that make one a guru. Prabhupada took those functions away. He was still our guru. Because a real, true guru is defined by Shastra, is one who gives the torchlight of knowledge that saves us. And we all know in ISKCON who that is. We worship him every day. Chakshudana Dilo Jay Janme Janame. So Prabhu say, we worship him every day. But in 1997, I actually started to come to some of these realizations. But I call this sort of like they're logical deductions. They aren't really philosophical points, but they're logical deductions. Because this is just a logical deduction. Well, it is a philosophical point that these functions do not define or create or make a guru. But it's a logical point in a sense that if we take them away, and it is a philosophical point as well. But anyway, all of these were just like going onto a weight scale. They were just, oh, there's this reason. Oh, there's that reason. Here's another point. Here's another point. And the scale was really tipping toward the Ritvik representative side. If you take this, and you look at this point, and then you look at that point, and then there's another point. And it was really weighing down that side of the scale. And so it's not just one point, one aspect that says, okay, because of this, Prabhupada wanted Ritvik, and that's it, because this one point. But it's, here's a point, here's another point, here's another point, and the scale is just really tipping over. So I wanted to point that out. And another thing is that I just wanted to point out is that from this argument that the GBC gave me, that if we take these functions away from the gurus and they're no longer gurus, actually, that argument, we can see that the GBC didn't even know what defines and makes a real guru. Here they were in the process of authorizing new gurus, ordaining new gurus, and telling us who a guru really is, and this person is an ISKCON guru, that person is an ISKCON, and yet they didn't even know what defines and makes a real guru. It's amazing. And because you take away these functions and we're no longer gurus. Then I guess you're no longer a guru. Doesn't matter if you have those functions or not. Anyway, to the GBC, it became more important for them to maintain that false appearance of being a real guru than it was for them to obey and follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions. Okay, I had gotten off script, but I want to go back now. And I went back to my third rebuttal I wrote, but from that time, I started writing. Actually, from the time I sent the original paper to the GBC, for the next 2 years, I kept sending them email after email. I'd say every 3 to 6 months, I sent them another rebuttal, trying to get them to engage with me in some sort of meaningful dialogue and discussion. And over, they kept giving me the same response. Cold, dark silence. Oh, come on, you guys, not again. Hey, oh, come on. I mean, why the cold and dark treatment? I mean, how did I get those lights back on? Where's that? Oh my God, I threw that switch. Where did it go? And I'm saying that for real. I have no idea where my switch went over there. Oh, sheesh, I found it. Does it work again still? Oh, yeah, it does. Well, neat little thing, huh? All right. So, okay, I'm back. So, not one GBC member considered any of my points compelling enough to answer. Srila Prabhupada had the basic courtesy to reply to every letter that was sent him. But these GBC, they stopped replying to my emails for years. They simply refused to communicate with me, at least on this topic, because I should note that I had sent several other emails to the GBC about other topics, and they replied. At the same time, a devotee who had access to their email conference and discussions told me that he saw my emails posted on their conference. They were getting them. But for 1.5, 2 years, as I kept emailing them again and again, requesting them, begging them, please enter into some kind of a discussion with me, they just, same cold, no, I'm not going to say it, the same silent treatment. In my view, it appeared to me that they were acting actually cowardly and philosophically weak and afraid, because they seemed to be afraid to have a real intellectual discussion. What really forced me to start researching this Ritvik issue more and more was the GBC. They were the ones who had thrown this Ritvik issue in my face. Oh, no, come on, not that again. All right, I'll just... Anyway, they're the ones that had falsely accused me of being supporting the Ritvik Rasa idea, and at that time, I wasn't. But this ultimately forced me to keep researching the issue, and originally just to prove them that I wasn't. But the more I researched it, the more I began to have doubts as to the validity of the multi-guru path that the GBC had taken.